It started as a college project in a tiny dorm room. But what if I told you that idea turned into a trillion-dollar empire? One that almost never happened. This is the story of two students, a university basement, and a search engine that nearly died before it ever lived. Today, we're diving into how Google went from a cluttered whiteboard in a Stanford dorm to reshaping the internet and our lives forever. 1996, Stanford University. Larry Page was just a PhD student fascinated by the structure of the internet. He believed that the web, chaotic and growing like wildfire, could be organized. Not just through keywords, but through relationships. Like a web of trust where the most credible pages voted for others by linking to them. It was just an idea. But then Sergey Brin walked into his life. They didn't even like each other at first. Larry thought Sergey was too talkative. Sergey thought Larry was too intense. But soon, those debates turned into brainstorming sessions and late-night coding marathons. The duo would sit for hours in Larry's dorm, papers everywhere, code on the screen, half-eaten noodles on the desk, building something they called BackRub. Yes, that was the first name for Google. But when Stanford's servers started complaining about their little experiment eating up bandwidth, they realized this thing was bigger than a school project. So they renamed it Google, a play on Google, meaning one followed by 100 zeros, fitting for their vision to organize infinite information. But here's where it gets messy. They believed in their creation, but nobody else did. They pitched their search engine to Yahoo, to Excite, to AltaVista, even tried to sell it for just $1 million. All of them said no. Imagine that. Passing up the chance to own Google for $1 million. Would you have taken the deal? Drop it in the comments. I really want to hear your take. So Larry and Sergey had a decision to make. Keep begging for buyers or build it themselves. They chose to build. And to do that, they needed money. Fast. Larry's dorm room was their first data center. They used Lego pieces to mount their hard drives. Sergey borrowed money from family. And eventually, a check came from one man who changed everything. Andy Bechtolsheim, a co-founder of Sun Microsystems. He handed them $100,000, but here's the twist. Google wasn't even a company yet. They had to rush to form an actual business just to cash the check. From there, it exploded. Word spread. Users poured in. Investors followed. Google's clean interface and powerful algorithm, PageRank, began crushing the cluttered competition. But success wasn't instant. They had to fight off lawsuits, ad model confusion, even internal battles about ethics. In 2001, Eric Schmidt was brought in to give them adult supervision, but Larry and Sergey never lost sight of their mission: to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. By 2004, they went public. That $100,000 check, it turned into billions. And those companies who rejected them? Yahoo tried to buy Google later for $3 billion. Google said no. Now here's something to think about. Would you have kept going if everyone said your idea was worthless? Or would you have sold it for $1 million and walked away? Be honest. Drop your answer in the comments. This story isn't just about two guys building a company. It's about believing in your vision when the world laughs at it, about turning rejection into rocket fuel, and about how the future of the internet sat in a dorm room, almost deleted, almost forgotten. Today, Google handles over 8.5 billion searches per day. But it all started with a stubborn idea, a risky bet, and a check they couldn't even cash. If this story inspired you or made you think twice about giving up on your ideas, hit that like button. Subscribe for more real money stories that change the world. And don't forget, drop a comment with what you would have done if you had the chance to buy Google for $1 million. Your story might be the next one we tell.